Hey, good morning, everyone. Tractorman 44 here. You know, you got to have a little respect for the old timers and everything that ain't with us anymore. You know, they had a pretty rough way to go. My own dad was born in 1909. Yeah, well, there was enough things happen to him as a kid on the farm. He should never made it, you know, to adulthood. But that's a whole nother story. My dad worked with horses from the time he was a little boy. My grandfather had employed a freed slave, literally a freed slave, probably in his 50s. But I believe I remember the old man saying he was a young boy whenever he was freed back in 1865. And so I'm assuming, you know, by 1912 or 13, whenever my old man was working with him, he was probably 45 or 50 years old. That's an assumption. I never did really ask. But at any rate, that old slave taught my dad, or that old black man taught my dad virtually everything that he knew about horses. At least that's what he always said. And they farmed with horses all the way up until they became a little more modern and mechanized, you know, sometime in the 20s and definitely by the 30s and on. So, and they worked hard, man. I mean, you know, it was not an easy go. There's no doubt about it. Dad always swore he loved working with horses a lot better than he did with humans because the horses would listen to him, you know, and the humans might not necessarily. But what I'm going to do today, this is a long story, but I'll cut it short, is I'm going to take you out and we're going to load up a log, a pretty heavy log that I can't pick up with any of my tractors that are currently in a running state. But we're going to load a log the way Dad taught me how to load logs with a very similar tractor whenever I was a kid. You know, we had that old sawmill. It was big to me at the time. It was 54-inch inserted tooth, and it was powered by an inline 8-cylinder Buick power plant. We did a lot of sawing. We sawed a lot of oak and cherry and hickory and walnut. We didn't have any pine or fir or anything like that, you know, but just a pile of oak. And consequently, you know, we spent a good deal of my childhood sawing lumber. There's no doubt about it. He taught me how to do this. I was probably 11 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, on an old Massey Harris 101 Junior. The tractor we're going to use today to load is the upgraded version of the 101 Junior. This is a Model 30, which has the exact engine that the late model 101 Juniors had in it, the 162 cubic inch 4-cylinder Continental. The only main difference is being upgraded. This got a 5-speed transmission, whereas the 101 Juniors had the old 4-speed transmission. So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and we're going to load that one big old log up and see how it goes. Wind's blowing so hard outside, that's why I'm talking in here right now. The video is probably going to be terrible with all the wind noise. So let's quit talking and go. Okay, while the wind has died down a little bit, I'll try to explain the setup. If you notice, you see two chains down here at the bottom coming off of the edge of the trailer. They're hooked on the other side of the trailer. They go underneath and come up and create that V right in the middle. Now I've got another chain hooked into that V that comes all the way back and hooks into the tractor. See how it's hooked onto the shackle on the front of the tractor? So as I back up, that chain's going to pull on the V, which is going to roll the log up the ramps if we're lucky. Now if you notice, logs are always different on one end than it is the other. This is the bigger end. It's got a larger circumference, so it's going to want to roll fast and faster. So what I did, I hooked slightly to the right side or the small side of the V, and if I had a regular helper, I could have him set here with a piece of with a pry bar and actually put a brake on this side right here, and we would roll that other side just a little bit faster to get that a little past even with this side, and then we would roll on up. And if it becomes uneven again, we would stop and do exactly the same thing. However, I don't have a helper, but I have asked the missus to come out and see if she'd like to watch how we load these things or how we have loaded them in the past. I don't think she's ever been around doing them with the tractor and stuff like this. And like I say, the large end is going to want to roll faster because it's about 2 inches larger in diameter than the small end. Shouldn't be too awful bad. This is the old early 1950s Massey Harris Model 30 that we're going to be using. Now if the old tractor fire up, we'll go ahead and tug it up on there.
Okay.
And the worst thing that happens is it just fall off.
That's the worst. The absolute worst is just fall off. No one's crushed.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No mayhem.
Ain't nobody gonna get hurt.
All right. Worst case. Worst case is I freeze to death out here. It's 56 degrees, but it does not feel 56. It is cold. It is windy. It was 18 a few days ago, so I guess I shouldn't complain about 56. Not snowing. All right. So the old Massey, whatever, 44, 55, 33. No, too big for a 33. Probably 44. Pull the log up. All I have to do is keep the log in the viewfinder. Keep driving me out here with promises of fast food Chinese tonight, and I am very excited. Okay, so this is all the further he can pull this log up because over here he has backed himself into the log pile. So no matter wherever you put these logs, they're always in the wrong place. So he's going to block this log, which means putting blocks of wood behind it so it doesn't roll back down.
I'm just going to back off a little bit so that I can rehook the chain.
Okay, so it will, but it won't go anywhere.
No, it should stop right there.
All right, and then you're going to reposition the tractor
I'm just going to move the tractor back forward again.
and then move
And then
back the other way.
10 foot to move again. That was my
Right.
main concern because I knew it was real limited. That's why I had the tractor hugging the trailer to start off with.
Okay.
Normally when we're out in the woods and loading them like this, back whenever I was a kid, we'd have
Right.
the tractor 30 feet away or 25 foot away.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because we had the space.
You couldn't have like put the tractor in the trailer in a different spot to begin with?
The log was over here.
Oh. You could have cut the ends off the logs.
I did that already to shorten it down.
Okay, well. All right. Exciting tractor movement. That's sarcasm. On the trailer. Why are we moving this on the trailer?
So I can put it on the sawmill. I don't have a tractor big enough to pick it up.
Oh, we don't have a tractor big enough.
To pick it up. Well, all my good tractors are broke down.
That is a problem.
There is a method to the madness. That's all you got to know.
Maybe I should scan the woods and show them the tractors.
No. It was just too much trouble going bring the backhoe. And the skid loader would be fine, but I still got to do a little bit of maintenance on the skid loader. I'm not quite done and ready to put it back to work yet.
Okay, so this is a white oak.
Yeah, it's a
Why is it so like pithy on the side?
Oh, well, this thing's been cut. This thing's been cut for about 3 years.
Really?
And this is all the sapwood right here. That's
Okay.
part of the tree.
So that's the good part?
Huh?
That's the good part?
No, that's the bad part. This is all the sapwood here.
Okay, the sapwood is the bad part.
The sapwood is the bad part. The good part is the real dark hardwood part. This is all called the heartwood or the center of the log.
Okay.
But whenever the trees are growing, their roots suck all the nutrients out of the ground and carry it up the tree through the sapwood. That's why it's called sapwood.
Right.
And the sap all the right through that to feed the branches and all that stuff. That makes the thing grow. And the heartwood just adds a ring every year.
It goes from the outside.
Yeah, I think the ring gets there'll be a larger ring added to the outside
Okay.
every year.
All right.
Somehow or another, through some fancy whatever, the interior portion of the sapwood becomes a
Does it
life growth.
does it like shed its bark, or just grow new bark?
No, it only sheds its bark when it's dead.
Okay, so it just keeps on adding new bark and you don't notice?
Well, yes, sometimes the bark gets thicker,
Okay.
you know, and sometimes if a piece gets knocked off, it grows a scab on the top of the bark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, you don't you see the trees up in the yard that we get with the tractors and the trailers?
Well, yeah, but I don't notice them getting bigger on the outside, like layers of bark grow.
Well, it's not layers of bark. It's
Something has to cover it.
the inner portion of the the sapwood becomes a growth ring on the outer part of this hardwood.
Well, yeah, but it's still got bark all the way around it. Like that one behind you's got bark.
The bark
So,
just gets bigger. It's like
the bark
it's
itself
like
gets
the
bigger?
Earth expanding with whenever. Remember the Pangea theory about the Earth getting bigger?
Pangea?
And how the continents used to be Pangea, yeah, Pangea. How the Earth used to be together, Europe and the United States, North America, South America, and it slowly over time expanded.
Oh, yeah,
That's
but it
what's
filled in with
happening to
water,
this.
not bark.
Well, yeah, but it's the same theory.
Theory.
Because as
Okay.
the tree gets bigger, the bark just expands. That's all. I ain't I'm not an
Expanding.
arborist.
The expanding bark theory. You've heard it here.
You heard it here first. So, did you enjoy that or what?
I did. It was very exciting. Do I still get Chinese food?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. Is this more of the exciting part or is this a boring part?
Oh, no, this was the exciting part.
Okay, now the moving is it boring part or is
Yeah,
it
it's
still?
kinda getting boring.
Okay, so I can let you go and come back later with more exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You better
Be-
say bye.
Bye.
Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of loading logs the old way. There's nothing that says you guys can't do it now. We load a lot of them like that this day and time, but we use a pickup truck because a lot of times we got the trailer, we got the cables, everything we need, chains and all that stuff. We don't have a tractor, but we have 2 or 3 pickup trucks on the job. So we just use a pickup truck with the tow hooks on the front and let somebody just back up, low gear, 4-wheel drive, just creep backwards, and that's how we load. But this is the first time I loaded with a tractor in a long time. So you know what? Hope you enjoyed that. This is Tractor Man 44. I'm out here, guys.